House recently proposed investing more than $15 million into capital budget projects within your district, the 45th District. Would you please talk about some of those projects and what steps will need to occur before using those funds?
Well, the 45th District actually fared pretty well this year in light of a very difficult budget year. We had to slash a number of programs out of the capital budget and reduce the amount of money available. But there were some real significant projects that were underway and really depended on some capital budget funding in the 45th. So I'm pretty pleased that in the House budget, at any rate, we did pretty well. There are a number of steps that we have to go through, however, before those funds will in fact be expended. First of all, they have to get into the Senate budget. The Senate capital budget and the House capital budget have to be reconciled, so the projects have to be in both. And then ultimately the governor has to agree to them as well. So there's a couple of steps left in the process. But in the House budget, we've done pretty well. And I made a list here just to take a quick peek at some of the ones that are the highlights. One sort of near and dear to my heart, it's not a huge dollar amount, but it's really important to small communities. The Carnation Farmers Market received $162,000 to help fund their operations and keep that market going. We got $618,000 for a transitional and safe housing project in Duval. $200,000 for a Woodinville restroom renovation project in their public park. In the Snoqualmie Valley, $400,000 was allocated for the removal of barriers to fish passage in the Snoqualmie Valley. Some of the bigger amounts included, for example, a skill center built in Northeast King County, slightly out of the district, but a lot of the 45th District people take advantage of that skill center, and that was $9 million. $1.4 million for the Lake Washington Technical College. That's going to primarily be used to renovate and upgrade buildings that are in need of repair. And finally, $3 million was allocated to the city of Kirkland to put in infrastructure to support the new Park Place development project that's going in. So we did well. We'll hopefully those will stay there when we do the Senate budget and the governor's budget.
As a member of the House Transportation Committee, can you share a little bit about what the final transportation budget will look like?
The major elements of that budget will be funding for the Alaska Way Viaduct, as well as numerous projects all across the state. So we're going to be looking at a number of improvements, but where transportation is concerned for the 45th District are the two projects that I'm working on mostly this week. One is the Alaska Way Viaduct. I have made it real clear that while I support the deep bored tunnel as an alternative, I want to make a very firm cap on the amount of money the state will expend, and that cap should be $2.4 billion. That's the amount we had set aside. So if Seattle would like to build a tunnel, that makes sense. I'm fully supportive of that. But the state's investment is capped at $2.4 billion. The other project, of course, is the 520 bridge, and I think we're getting closer to arriving at an agreement that will set up early tolling. We will begin tolling the bridge soon because we're going to begin the construction of the pontoons soon. I know that early tolling is controversial, but it actually is cheaper. Yeah, it keeps the cost of the bridge down in the long run. So we'll be supporting early tolling to bond that money in order to build the bridge so we can at least get the bridge over the water replaced, and then we'll worry about the projects on either end later on. So those are the big issues, I think, for transportation.
Great, thank you.
Sure.